New York. Oh dear. Officials in New York's Rockland County announced on Wednesday that they had issued subpoenas to 8 people who allegedly were infected by the virus for refusing to speak with contact tracers voluntarily. Only New York. And they said the health of our county, really, in New York, the health of our county, they're really interested about people's health in New York. I think not. Will be compromised because of ignorance, stupidity, or obstinance. And Ed Day, the county executive, said failure to comply will be costly. We're going to be charging $2,000 per day if you don't voluntarily speak to our contact tracers. According to Patricia Rupert, the county's health commissioner, added, referring to the subpoenas, according that officials are using the subpoenas to compel the people to talk with the contact tracers without contracting the COVID-19 disease. And she indicated that the 8 people had declined interview requests to determine who else they were in contact with and prevent them from further spreading the virus. Yeah, right. And in echoing frustrations expressed by health officials across the country, Rupert said the infected partygoers who attended a party in Clarkstown, located north of New York City, are not answering their phones or are refusing to talk when contact tracers reach them. And they say, unfortunately, are now forced by these circumstances to send subpoenas to the individuals who are required to cooperate with us. Zeke Heil. Now, they claim that his colleagues do not want to get anyone into trouble. They only want to speak to them to find out who else might have contacted the disease to keep it from spreading. So, let's just recap here. New York. On that last statement. They want to speak to those who may have contacted the disease of who else they've been in contact with. Which seems fair, you would think. Well, why didn't they stay in contact with the people that they pushed into elderly care homes? Have that same criteria? Oops. We want people to do the right thing for their neighbours, whilst they push sick people into elderly care homes, and voluntarily speak to health officials. However, he said the people refused to talk had forced the county to resort to subpoenas. Problem, reaction, solution again. And Rupert said the host of the party in question had coronavirus symptoms. It didn't say that person had it, it said symptoms. And she told reporters, we are not receiving the necessary cooperation when we contact those who are positive for COVID-19 or those who had been at some of these gatherings. And my staff have been told that a person who does not wish to or have to speak to my disease investigators, please send them into the elderly care homes in New York and investigate disease and death there, and then issue subpoenas to the clowns who sent them there, like Cuomo. You know, subpoenas for people who don't want to speak to clowns. Where's the rule for that? And this is the usual rhetoric rolled out onto Americans you're doing this for your country or your freedoms. It's a guilt complex that has been ran on Americans for at least the last 7 decades. And it's time we ignore their fear and guilt-based programs. No one's coming to get you from the outside, as the elephant was in the room all along. The health of our county will not be compromised because of ignorance, stupidity, or obstinance, they said. Touche, Gotham jackass. We the people will not be compromised by ignorant jackass bots either. In steps Dr. Evil himself, Anthony Fauci, on Tuesday, that taking comfort in news of declining coronavirus death rates is false narrative. Do these people think before they speak? So because the virus is now declining, that's now declared a false narrative. Really? And he said it encourages complacency. And the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Fauci, downplayed the apparent low death rate of the coronavirus pandemic in a press conference with Democrat Alabama Senator Doug Jones on Tuesday. And he also emphasized that there is still a window of opportunity, oh my, for the state to respond proactively to the outbreak. You're not there yet, he said, so you have an opportunity, a window to get your arms around this and prevent it from getting worse. That makes sense. And he said it's not to the point where it's out of hand and very difficult to control. So you have a window of opportunity here that as a state, you should take advantage of that window of opportunity. All very Mr. Rumsfeld that. And personally, Mr. I don't give a Fauci what you say. Dr. Evil.